Okay, we're back.
Sorry about that, by the way. We're having some technical problems, but we're back on the air right now. What I was saying during the break is that I noticed a marginal difference right now in Oscar's demeanor. He seems focused. He seems ready to play this match. Earlier on, I don't know if he just seemed a little bit more frazzled, but that has completely disappeared right now.
hmm
And
He just came off a big win over Mitch Ellerman, and it was he shot very well. It was again the focus was there.
for him, that
It's
was
time
a
to make the
deciding
donuts here.
match. Yeah,
Sure,
he had to make it. He had
sure.
to beat Mitch in order to get here, and he knows as well as anyone that every match starts at 0.
So basically, it's time to go to work here. So Oscar is at work.
Don't run into the 3-4. That's all he wanted.
And he's going to play
Now,
short rail position.
now he's Jeddah mind tricking that cue ball to stop, but it didn't quite work. I don't think the Jeddah power's that good at this point. He
Well,
still has some work to do.
he's got some work to do, but it's a lot easier from there than it would have been an inch higher
Yeah,
or
he
2 inches
definitely
higher.
didn't want
Yeah,
the short side of that too, but take what the table gives you at this point.
at this point, and it's just a follow shot.
Anywhere in the middle of the table's fine, just like that.
Now, did Francisco switch cues?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He got a new cue.
You
out
were
of this.
mentioning you may not be happy with a tip or something on the cue. Some players will sometimes switch cues or switch something because they're not happy with the focus, and it'll make him focus a little different than what he has been. And that could be part of it too.
And speaking of focus, it seemed for a second there that Oscar lost his focus, running into that 8-ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is butting. This was kick out of the 8-ball, but that's not where he wanted to be for
Well,
that 7.
now you can see why.
And that's exactly
Now you
why.
can see
he
why.
came out a little high, ran into the 7, and now he's in a bit more trouble than he wanted to be on that 7.
It changed his angle. Will he cut this in the side or will he bank it?
I don't think he's cutting it.
I think he
Yeah,
will.
well, he will. You're right. He's looking at it.
It's the biggest pocket on the table. I mean, these are tight, but that's the biggest pocket. Side pockets are.
I'm looking at the streaming table. See, from where we sit, it
Mhm.
looks like a different angle, but the streaming table says cut it in the side.
Oh, he
didn't.
wasn't cutting the
went-
side. He was
no,
playing safe.
Entire time.
Fooled us, guys. He fooled us. We thought it was going to be offense. He called out his defense.
Although that's what I said earlier about being focused is, he does what he needs to be doing. He's not
Mhm.
getting frustrated. Francisco hits the ball full, leaving it in front of the 8. From here, grazing the 8 actually makes the 7 and pushes the 8 right down towards the bottom pocket.
You think he'll play that?
Yeah, well, that's what he's looking at. See?
Well, he's looking at both.
Yeah, he's looking at the angle that he needs. The other thing he might want to do is play the 7 into the center of the table and stick the cue ball on that 8 off the rail.
That is a good shot, and it's a high percentage shot, and it looks like that's what he's playing.
Yeah, right? Yep, there you go.
Good call.
Stick him on that
Nice
8
call.
right off the rail.
He didn't want to roll the ball on the side. He didn't want to play it off the ball because it might get to the bottom rail and not have a shot. And he chose the defensive shot, a high percentage defensive shot.
Now, I think Francisco wants to hit the bottom rail before hitting that 7. Shooting 7 up table, possibly in the pocket. One of the things the Filipinos are known for is not just hitting that shot, but actually hitting it to make it what a
Hitting the right side of the ball, the correct
Yeah.
side of the ball.
the correct side of the ball to make it or
Correct.
to get advantages.
Good point.
Again, we apologize for the camera sounds in the background. That's my camera firing off. You'll see some of the photos on Facebook at a later time, and on CSI Poll's website and Facebook page. George, we didn't introduce ourselves. I waited
We
for
didn't.
you. I waited for you to take a sip of your drink before I said that. I was hoping for that arc spit as I said it.
My adult beverage?
Your adult beverage, yes, sir.
Well, this is George Teja from Tucson, Arizona.
And
Joining
Ashi
you.
Fatchler from San Diego, California.
There you go.
Sorry, George. I meant
It's
to
okay.
cut you off.
And you guys are watching Francisco Bustamante and Oscar Dominguez.
Yep.
The semifinal of the 2017 J. Swanson Memorial, the 21st annual Swanee. Oscar's name is on here many times as a winner, second place finish, runner-up finish, third place. He's done it all. Nice shot.
What a bank.
And a well-deserved applause from a very appreciative crowd.
And after that shot, you have to really take your foot off the gas, relax again, shoot soft.
Too soft, actually.
Yeah. But it's a no-brainer for Francisco.
Yep.
That makes it 1-1 with Francisco to break. You know, maybe changing the cue actually did it for him. It gave him the confidence that he needed, or the change that he needed.
It just actually it sometimes makes you focus better because there is now whatever distraction was there or whatever distraction he's creating by having the cue reins in his focus again. I think
So basically our advice for amateurs is buy more than one cue. Is that it?
pretend you're playing golf.
Yes.
And, you know, get your 9 irons, your drivers, and your putters. You know, what the heck? Just carry the whole. I mean, they're carrying a break cue, they're carrying a playing cue, and they're carrying a jump, or sometimes a jump break.
And extensions.
An extension.
Yes.
So, you know.
For those of you who haven't seen, Francisco's case has about 6 cues.
There
in
you
it,
go.
If not more.
There you go. Well, to tell you the truth, I actually carry a 4x8. So I carry 4 cues. Can't use any of them, but I carry 4 of them.
I heard you play okay.
I thought, didn't you do my commentary for a match I played earlier with
I might have,
Scott?
yes, with
I
Scott,
thought you were
yeah.
with.
Yes. Scott's.
I see I'm very
San Diego.
memorable. It's okay. It wasn't my best performance. It wasn't my worst. But it was a successful one.
Earlier on, Francisco took a lot of his break because he didn't want to end up in the
Drink.
again.
Mhm.
Yes, he's been doing that.
He's right behind the 7 ball.
And look, exactly.
This is unfortunate.
No.
Oh, wow. Sigh of relief. The whole crowd, there was a sigh of
knew
relief.
that, yes, they counted the revolutions on that measle ball with Francisco as it was passing that 7.
Nicely done. Notice how he went through that ball. He made sure he stroked it well so he'd come up and not stay on the rail. A lot of players will make the mistake of leaving that on the rail.
Now he needs to float up just like that to the 5 ball.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you playing at home, Francisco hit that ball with a bit of low to come off the rail and leave himself positioned for the 7.
Nice little angle that trend up to the rail.
Yeah, this
for
is
the 9.
another one where amateurs tend
He's
to
gonna
get
stun it.
straight in
Mhm,
on that
mhm.
8 ball and then not leave themselves a shot on the 9.
Right.
Francisco, in the meantime, is making easy work of it.
And
2 to
taking a
1.
lead. Taking a lead, but we're on serve here. As this is an alternate break format.
This is a race to
Race
7.
to 7.
2017 J. Swanson Memorial at On Q in La Mesa, California. A CSI event with Mark Griffin in attendance and the CSI crew, including Steve Kwan. Hi, Steve. He's
Tournament
waving back at us. He's the technical director here, and in charge of a big computer that he built, or at least that's what he tells us.
it enables the live stream, Facebook Live stream.
Which we absolutely thank CSI for not only putting on the streaming, but making it free for all to watch.
You know, Ashi, we should give credit to Amy Kane, tournament director. She's done a fantastic job of keeping this running. It looks like the whole thing will be over before 10 o'clock. And because this is a semifinal match, and the final match would be a race to 11 between the winner of this match and Brian Parks, who is patiently waiting in the wings to take on an opponent, a contestant here. And she's done a fabulous job. It started out with 128 players yesterday morning at 9 o'clock.
And here we are down to the last three.
Down to the last three. Payouts for the tournament, I believe first place is $2,500. Second place is $15. The loser here in this match will settle for $900. Fourth place was $6. And from on down from there, I didn't look at the other.
I think it paid to about 16th place.
I think it played to 32.
Oh.
Yeah, because everybody that came back today was in the money. They got something for their troubles. They pay 25% of the field.
Do you play above the floor or do you play below it? The floor
I can't
is on
see
the
his
rail.
angle. I think he's gonna he's
looking below, but the floor is on the rail, and that center pocket right there.
Well,
could cause an issue.
Here's the point here. If he draws the ball, he has to elevate. If he follows the ball with high center English, he'll go 2 rails, possibly into the 6-9. So he's got to beat the 6-9. And
that's what he's looking at.
Yes,
that's
and it
exactly
leads right to the side pocket.
Yeah.
It leads right to the side pocket. So he's in a predicament here.
Do you think he's going between the 6-9? Look at his elevation. No, he's going to draw it back.
He's going around the 6-9, but this is a tough shot. I'm sorry,
but
this is a tester, and if he executes, if he makes the ball, he has position.
Yes. He's going to take his time in this one, make sure that he hits it.
He's going to respect the shot.
Right.
This is dead center high English. That's right. Just follow the ball a hair. Just make it, and he didn't. Ooh,
oh, beautiful!
Ooh, wow! I thought that ball was hanging. I thought that.
Look, the speed in which he shot it, I think, caused it to fall because other balls have been hanging in that pocket all day.
The speed in the English, the fact that he used center high on that has really kept that ball in, I think. The combination of both. Either way, it was a great shot.
Yeah. Oscar is becoming quite the monster on the table these days.
Oh.
He's playing stronger and stronger and
all the
stronger
time.
with every event.
And he's playing a lot, and he's playing better and better every event. His technical, his mechanics are fantastic. If you watch him come through the ball, it's so straight, so perfect. The cue comes right. His timing is excellent. It's just he's playing very, very well. And the best word that can describe him is, like you said, monster.
And focused at this point. Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Not giving an inch to Bustamante.
Well, he gave him 8 games the last time they played.
That's why. That's what I'm saying. Is that sitting heavy on him. He knows he did that. And he's determined not to do this again. You can see his body language is completely different this match from the previous match. He seemed defeated. He knew he was playing Bustamante. It was in his head. He didn't do well. And now he's determined. He's going for gusto right
Look
here.
where his eyes are right now, Ashi. Center of the table. And he's not looking at Francisco rack the balls. They're focused center on the table. He's not even looking at Francisco.
No.
So that's a testament to his focus right now.
Earlier on, he was focused on Francisco. Yeah, you're right. Let's see if Francisco hits him hard or a bit softer this time. Yeah, much more controlled
See,
break, softer
that-
break. Park the cue ball in the middle of the table.
That's all the break you need with a magic rack. You don't have to slam them like you normally do with a regular rack. That's the break. That's all you need right here. Control the cue ball position on the 1, because you're going to probably make the wing ball.
I'm trying to see if Francisco's going back to his old cue, but no, he's
No,
staying
he's
with
staying
the
with the
new
one
cue.
here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For a moment there, he was shuffling the cues around. It seemed like he's going back to his old cue, but he seems to like the new one.
I'm sure he likes the old one, but he's going to make do with the equipment he's got in his hand.
Right now, it's to the point where he says, yeah, I won a few. I'm staying with this. That beautiful Filipino follow-through stroke.
It's going to get him. Ooh, did he get? It's going to get him right behind the 4 ball.
You know, from our monitor, it seems like he just got behind the 4 ball. Yeah,
We don't
it's
want.
pointing to the rail where you want it to be, but you know how that is.
We don't want to even try to guess what was going through his mind when he was staring at the cue ball. I think that was censored.
This is a family show right here, George. So
This is tough. If he hits the rail without spinning the ball, the corner of the lower side pocket is about 1.5 inches long, where he has to spin and catch it just below the corner there, the nip or whatever you want to call it, the titty.
I don't like that. Let's call
I don't
it
either,
the
but
corner
that's
of the pocket. I know it's
okay.
the
Yeah,
colloquial
look at this shot.
term.
Look at
but
this. What
there
a
you
very
go.
nice shot. But when you get up there and look at how much of that corner comes into play, it's almost 1.5 inches big. And you know you have to get by it. And every time you're thinking about getting by it, you find it. Meanwhile, he made a fantastic safety. Very nice. He's going to jump over the ball with. He's going to try to jump over the 8 off the rail.
He was thinking about it
English.
for a second, and then
It's a good shot, but
it is. But you have to
it's so
clear
tough.
that 8. You know, if
Have
the
to
8 was
clear the
closer to the rail, yes, but it's not. And so the danger is coming back off that rail and clipping the backside.
And the
of
danger
that
is
8.
bouncing over the 2 ball or hitting the top of it, because it's probably going to be in the air the whole time.
Wow, they hit it.
Yeah, he hit it.
And now
Left
he's
a low
hoping
percentage
for
shot.
luck. Yeah, now he's
Well.
hoping for luck.
Well, Francisco is going to,
Bank
either
it. He's
bank
been
it or-
banking all day long.
or he's going to put that cue ball down by the 6-8. It looks like he's going to have nothing to do with. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's take a look at what he does. Oh, bank that, he says. I'm cutting it. Get out the Ginzu.
And we apologize again for the camera sounds that you may hear on the streaming, but that's me doing my job, taking photos. Francisco says, bank? Why should I bank when I can cut it and get perfect position? Draw back so you don't get stuck behind that 8. I was trying to will that cue ball back. See, the problem now is he has to avoid that 8 coming in. Not a problem.
Oh, going
but
out. He's going to come to the bottom rail.
yeah, he is, but not a problem.
not a problem,
but
no.
it just complicated things for him. He got a little bit off on that 6 ball. He wanted a foot more to the right.
Mhm. Going to draw this 1.5 hairs. He drew that more than 1.5 hairs, didn't he?
Yes,
He
just
went
a
to the
little bit
rail
more
and back.
because it gave him better angle.
He made sure he avoided the side pocket. He didn't even let it come into play. Whereas sometimes
Hesitate, stroke right
Mhm.
through that cue
Mhm.
ball, get perfect shape.
That little slight hesitation at the end there, at the end of his stroke,
There
and
it
then
is,
the follow
3-2.
through.
Francisco Bustamante leading for the first time.
Two to three.
Yep. Oscar to
Francisco
break.
back on top. Almost a 30-point difference in their Fargo rating. Equates to probably a game on the wire. Possibly not.
Right
It's
now,
real close.
Right now, that's exactly where it's going. You know? That's exactly where it's going.
Actually, it equates to more than a game on the wire because at 3-2 being ahead, he's still a heavy, heavy favorite. Straight in on, well, good shot on the one ball,
Yeah,
nice position.
you know,
Lays nice to get to the two.
all he wants to do is get in between the 6 and the 8 ball for
Mm-hmm.
that 2 ball. That's all he wants to
And
do.
he's coming off at the perfect angle, too. Just center English. Gets him right over. And he's got cover on the side pocket, the 8 ball's there, just in case.
Right there, in between
Mhm.
the 8 and the 6 ball. He wants to leave himself an angle. He wants to come pretty straight on that 4, just a little bit above it, to leave himself
Yeah.
the angle on that 5. He
I
doesn't
think-
want to fight the 5 at any time.
Mm-hmm. He wants to be able to roll and fall on it.
Yeah,
He's-
see,
yeah,
that's
he's-
exactly what he
that's
did.
perfect.
He came just a
Perfect.
tad above. That's
He's-
perfect.
He'll just roll down just a hair. He'll hit this hard enough to make the ball. And slide down maybe, 8 inches, 10
Yeah,
inches?
down to the right side of that 5 ball.
Well, he's perfect.
He
little
hit
lower
it,
than he'd
yeah,
like
a
to
little
be, but
lower
he's
than he
perfect.
had to, but he had a margin there of error that he could play.
Mm-hmm.
And in any case, it brings the cue ball off the rail, one rail up towards that 6 ball.
And again, keep in mind, this table is very fast.
Very fast.
So, you want to hit that hard enough to make the ball and not let any kind of a roll interfere. So, you have a tendency of hitting it harder, and he's hit this one too hard.
Yeah.
And he's added a big degree of difficulty to the shot. It didn't need to be there had he been able to roll it and stay almost just, to the left of where he's at now. But these guys have no problem with this. He'll use right-hand English and spin the ball and stay above the side pocket.
That's what he's looking at. He doesn't
Mhm.
want to run into the 8C, so
No.
he's sort of calculating in his mind the margin of error
Mhm.
that he has on that cue
Mhm.
ball coming off that rail.
He's
He wants
looking.
to look at the line one more
It
time.
looks like he might come down below the 7 and play it in the upper right-hand corner.
Behind the 8?
No, to the upper right-hand corner up on top. No, he
No,
held it up. He held it up. Okay.
yeah.
It looked, when he stopped and looked at it, he kind of looked at landing the cue ball below the 7 and shooting it up.
Since the 8
But
ball
no, he
is
hit that real
above the
good.
pocket, he wants to bring it just higher. So he's going to draw back off that rail.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it almost where it is right now is where he wants
Oh,
it.
he's perfect.
3 rails
Yeah, he'll-
around the table
That's right.
to that 9 ball. That's where I want to be.
It's almost just
Or
like
there.
straight high English, maybe a hair to the right, so it runs better. A little bit of running English.
Just like
And
that.
around the world we go.
Just like that.
And watch this ball come into
Yeah.
play just right.
He wants that cue ball to roll with
Rotate.
the
Mhm.
rail birds are going,
Mhm.
Mildred, he's never going to make it. And that ball makes 2 more rotations for
Yes.
perfect position.
Mhm.
And Mildred is impressed.
Mildred,
Mildred. I stick by it.
there you go.
Yes. That's an old-time rail bird
I
named Mildred.
have a friend that when he has shots like that, he go, "Get there, Elizabeth."
Ah, there you go. See? So his is Elizabeth. Is
That's
my
correct.
Mildred. That puts Oscar at a 3-3, and Francisco is going to take a quick break. We are 2. We'll be right back with you.
Perfect.
We are back. Hi, George. Oh, George doesn't have his headphone on yet. He'll have it in a second. Francisco Bustamante to break. Yes, he's chewing his food real fast. Francisco to break. Look for control break, leaving him right in the center of that table. Actually, he moved forward and notice he didn't make any ball in the break. Oscar couldn't have gotten out of his chair fast enough.
Oh,
Hi, George.
hola.
Hola.
I was
So-
chowing down some food.
Yes. So we know that Francisco likes to kick. He's not going to jump this. He's looking at the line right now, probably going between the 4 and the 6 and spinning off that rail. That's what he's looking at.
I like spinning behind the 8, going 2 rails underneath it. Do you see the shot?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he sees running into that 9 and he misses it altogether. The problem with the other direction was running into the 9 from the bottom. If you get it a little bit wide,
True.
I know we're talking
True.
about Francisco here, and I know that he's pretty damn good about it. But, you know, he looked at it and he said, this is a bit better for me. And now,
Of course. I wouldn't question his decision to go
Right.
that route.
and Oscar is looking to make the 7 just to open that pocket.
He still has his work cut out for the 4 ball.
Actually has work cut out for the 2 ball at this point.
Oh, he can go around the 5. He can go just off. He went around the 5, right there. Come around the 5 again for the 3.
And then the 4-6. But, you know,
Well, the 4
From-
6.
our angle, it seems like the 6 will go carom.
Yes, from the left
Yes,
side,
from the
and
left
that way
side,
it pushes
yes.
the 4 ball to the right-hand corner and the cue ball in position to pocket it correct.
I'm
You-
sure he's already looking at where he wants to be after the 3 ball in order to get to that 4.
It'll be interesting to see. Well, we're not going to get to see it now.
And that is, I think, a classic case of I'm thinking about too much about that 3, miss that 2 ball. Because he knew he had to be perfect on the 3 in order to get the line that he wanted for that 4-6.
I agree.
So he's thinking about that, and he took his eyes for 1 second off that 2 ball and hang it in the pocket. Francisco says, thank you very much. I'll do that now.
Yeah, I'll take care of the 4. If he didn't really like it, I will. Now let's see if he stops it there for the 4-6 combo, or if he attempts to play the cue ball between the 4-6 off the head rail. I don't think he has the angle for that. He's too straight.
It's hard to tell. You know, again, we apologize to you, the viewers of the stream. We're sitting sort of at an angle to the table. We have a monitor that shows us the view that you're watching, but we can't tell from our angle the exact line that he has. And notice he got up on his shot. He was thinking for a second, I can spin it, and then he's like, no, I don't like that. Now he's thinking through his shot. I think he's going to draw.
He's just going to stop it and take the combo.
Yeah. He looked at it and when all other options are worse, I'll take the combo.
Just stop it and
Hit the 4 hard enough to make it to the middle of the table on that lower
Well,
rail.
actually, it looks like he's just going to stop the cue ball, maybe even draw it back a little bit.
No, so he
yeah,
hit it
forward,
hard
yeah.
enough to get the cue
Back
ball,
and-
the
back
4
and
ball
forth,
moving.
yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
He made it look easy. That was expertly shot, expertly struck.
His finesse actually showed through that shot.
The problem is he's right-handed, so now it's quite the stretch, and he wants to make sure that not only is he stretching on the ball correctly to follow through, but that he gets his line back. He's going to actually change to his left hand. no bridges are available. Change to your left. Get perfect position that way.
He wouldn't. I'm telling you, Efren and Francisco, on shots like that, they have no hesitation shooting left-handed. In fact, I wouldn't put it past him to play me even left-handed.
Anyone, even
Yeah,
left-handed.
exactly. Uh-oh.
He did not want to run into that
No.
9 ball. He wanted to miss it, come 2
No.
rails up. Now he has something to think about. He's standing on the side of the table and shaking his head. He's like,
Well, that bank shot's not really there. He's
No.
got to do something with it to get it there.
I think he's
it's
looking
tough.
to come underneath that 9, but
And park it underneath.
yes, that
3-cushion billiard shot.
Yep.
Let's see what he chooses and how he executes. Oh, he held it up too much.
he went for the bank.
Well, he did, but he figured he had to just hold up everything he could, and it was too much. It held up nice.
Do you like cutting it in and coming down 2 rails back up table?
That is a
or
very thin
playing?
cut. Looking at
It
the
is,
monitor, it
it
looks
is.
easier than it does looking at the table.
It is. So, the thing is, though, if he cuts it in, he's coming back towards the 9.
You know what? Yes, he does. If he makes this ball and cuts it, he's going up and down, and he'll have a good shot on the 9 ball. He might choose to play to the right side of the 8 and come around and leave the cue ball behind the 9.
Just like that.
Mm-hmm. And he got there. He did it
Yes.
very well. Leaving in the pocket was very dangerous, but he was playing to just miss the pocket and then roll up on top of the 8. I'm on top of the 9, and just put him in jail. This is pretty much jail, but it's
this is
it's
as
a two-rail
jail as
kick.
it gets.
a 2-rail
right?
kick. I think he'll hit this ball, and I think he'll hit it pretty full too. He wants to go 2 rails and hit about where the Brunswick marker is in the middle of the table there. Which means you'll probably hit 1 diamond above the side pocket. Maybe even a little underneath that. Oh, he went at it 1 rail?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I
Well,
really am.
The only advantage for the 1 rail is the ability to make that 8. If he hit it, the 8 goes. Coming up, what you gonna do? Give him an 8-9 combo?
You could, if you hit it from the top, you can kick the ball to the center rail on the bottom. You can kick it to the side rail on the right, going back to the center rail. There's opportunities, the same as it would be hitting it straight in.
And Oscar is telling Francisco that there's some dirt
Garbage on the
cue
ball. Can I
and
clean it?
Can I clean it?
Mhm.
Francisco says, go ahead. And Oscar puts his chalk down
Chalk.
on the table to mark it. And then, of course,
No
joked
smile from
about-
Francisco?
Yeah, none whatsoever.
No smile whatsoever.
Francisco is not amused in any way. Oscar's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is where it was before. Here's a tougher shot. Francisco's like, go ahead. You know, at 4-3, I think Fargo rate will put them at 50-50.
Think so?
I think so.
I didn't see what it was, but no, I think I
60-40.
think it's going to be. We're still. It's only going to move about 10 points, 8 points every game.
Oh, that's very close then.
Mm-hmm.
48 to a 52% win is
Yeah.
doable.
Yep. Oh no, this is
Yeah, 56-44.
pretty close. It's hard to get 50-50 with Fargo. It's
It
always
is, but it's
seems
also
to favor.
because it's a race to 7, so
Mhm.
4 is already past the halfway point.
Right.
And that's why if it was race to 8, maybe,
Mhm.
If it was a race to 8 and their percentages were the same, then we'd get a 50-50. Other than that, of course,
could be.
it's never 50-50.
But I'll tell you, from right here, it's a 50-50 either way.
Yeah, especially with the way
Alternate
that
break.
Oscar's playing, and
Think-
it's an alternate
yeah.
break. And
Alternate break. If he doesn't, that 1 ball's down. Cue ball's in good shape.
But it's way up table. And the 2 is
Came back
way
too
down
far.
table, yes.
What are we going to see here?
Look, I see cutting it so thin as to bring the cue ball behind
to where it's at now?
5 and 6. No,
Oh.
behind that 5 and 6.
Roll
It
up against it?
Roll up against it. It breaks up the 5 and 6 just ever so slightly and brings the
Well,
2 ball up.
If he does that, 2 ball's going to go into the 8. To get the cue
Then
ball up
you
to
know
the
what?
5,
He
6,
might-
cue
he
ball's going
might-
to go into the 8.
No, see.
That's where he's going. He's going.
Yes.
He's going where you
Yeah.
where you just suggested. He's going to the
Yeah.
right side of it, just like that.
Yeah, he wanted a little
He
bit
went
more.
at the
He
hole.
banked it.
He went at the hole.
Yeah, he banked it.
He says, "You play safe. I'm firing." And
Now he has that 5-6 to deal with.
let's see. Part of the reason for him banking that ball is he had the freedom to do it. The 5-6 allowed him the freedom to shoot that shot, making it wasn't as important.
He can always come underneath it, stick the cue ball to it, do nothing.
I think he'll stop the cue ball dead, and then when he shoots the 5, 3-rail it out of there and stop the cue ball. Replace the 5 with the cue ball.
I think the 5 is too deep behind the 6 to do that.
Do you?
I see exactly
Listen.
what you mean, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the 5 is too deep to do that.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah,
Doesn't
you
it quite
clip
have
the
the angle?
6. Yeah, he'll have to come up behind it.
I hadn't looked at it from here. I was just looking on the monitor. Didn't bother looking at it in real time. Well, no there.
And try and park it behind.
Look at this two-way
Oh,
shot.
wow.
Look at this great two-way shot. And he's going to just thin the 5, go up table, and leave the 5 ball right behind the 6. You think?
Yeah, that's
Or not?
exactly
Let's
what
see
I
he
think.
does.
Either that or the angle lets him just marry all 3 of them right.
The closer he leaves it to the 5,
Yeah, there you
the
go.
better it is for Francisco.
Yeah, there you go.
The further away, the more distance he creates. And now with the 5 froze. Is it froze? It doesn't appear to be on the... It looks like it is from here.
Yeah, it looks like from here, but it's
So-
hard for us to tell. We can't get behind that ball to see
Now,
it.
see, I'd be looking to make sure it was froze here.
Francisco wants to marry all 3. He says, "Here, you deal with
Yeah.
it."
We're gonna be here for a few shots, guys. He's going down table behind the 9. Leaving the 5 ball right there with a very thin cut. Ashi is firing away with his camera, folks. Click, click, click,
Click,
click,
click,
click.
click.
It's not the slot machine going off either.
Last year at the Swanee, I shot what has to be my favorite photo of Oscar, and that is after he won, he sort of stuck his tongue out to the camera, and
Oh, did he?
I got the shots. I was very happy with it. I think he was too.
He gave you something to shoot.
Yes,
huh?
he did. He
A little moment
was
of elation.
very happy. Yes, very much so. What do you see here? Hit the
Just
5
hitting
and-
it and leaving the cue ball by the 8.
Oh,
Ah,
that puts Francisco on
By
his
the 8, not
first
using it.
foul.
you think you'll try to 3 foul him here?
You know, the 5 isn't moving out of there. He
That's
doesn't
why I
wanna
said we're
move
gonna be
it.
here for a
Yeah,
while,
he
yeah.
doesn't want to move
Yep.
it out of there. Francisco can get out because there's nothing in traffic, in the way of traffic to the 5, but it sure does make his life easy. I'll put him in
No.
2 right
You
now.
put him up on the head rail against the rail if you can. All the way up there. Lay it against the rail. But see, this is a nice 2-rail kick or a 1-rail kick. You didn't get him all the way against the rail to stop the 1-rail kick. And forcing him to shoot the 2-rail kick.
In fact, Francisco's
This will
going
be
to
real
try and
soft
marry
again.
all 3 of them.
Real soft again.
Yeah.
He wants to use the rail because this will kick it out if it doesn't. Well, he's kicked it out, and will he carry him? Will he billiard off the 5 and
You
make the
know,
6?
I think he's looking at the bank 5 cross corner.
Cross-side?
He's looking cross-side. He's looking at that, yes.
Mhm.
coming around 2-3 rails for that 6 ball in the
Yeah, he doesn't
opposite
have to.
center pocket. Mitch Ellerman behind us, waving to the non-cameras on us, going, "Hi, Mom. I'm on television."
Fourth place finisher.
Yes.
I'm sure he's happy with that finish. Well, he's not happy with that finish. He'd like to go on to get into the finals. But keep in mind, Mitch is working for a living and doesn't play pool very much.
What do you do here?
anymore. I'm sorry?
What do you do here?
What do I
on
do?
that 6?
Right here?
Right here.
I think he makes it and just follows it down and places 7 in the bottom corner pocket.
Think he wants to run into that 7?
I don't think he can. I don't think he can.
No, I think he's coming
I think he's
around.
going to go right by.
Yeah. 4 rails. See, 1.
Oh, he wants to come all the way
2.
around.
3.
Oh, my Lord.
Almost 4 rails.
I'd have settled for just going down there and cutting it down past the side pocket. But that side pocket's big. They don't
It
like
is,
to cross it.
and he's, he's playing confident. He knows his stroke on this table. He's letting his stroke out when he needs to. He's not playing timid. Sort of, a lot of pros, they don't like those little touchy shots. They want to play
They
it
want
at
the stroke.
speed every single time.
Well, anytime you roll the ball real soft, you're risking a little bit of a roll on different tables. You're risking a little bit of skid. So, yes, I agree.
Wow, how did he strike that one?
This is what I was mentioning. I think I said earlier about Oscar, and his stroke, his mechanics are excellent, and that's what it takes to execute that shot. The mechanics have to be there. The timing of the cue striking the ball, the levelness of your cue has to be there.
He's looking down the rail to look at the exact line that 8 needs to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oscar's playing very, very well.
Very well. Could have done a little bit higher, but he'll take that for all the marbles.
I don't see any other choice. These shots are high percentage for these guys because they don't think about missing this ball.
Five 3, Oscar Dominguez. Oscar tosses the rack here.
Well, he was going to hand it, but Francisco bent over so to pick up the ball. So he didn't choose to wait for Francisco to get up so he could hand it to him. He just tossed it on the table. That's exactly the move. A
Here
good
you
move.
go.
Yeah. If you don't want to see me being nice, here you go.
And Francisco doesn't even want to look at Oscar
That's
right
right.
now. He's
That's right.
looking
He's
down at the
not happy.
rack. He's not looking at Oscar. He just went to his cue and managed to make 0 eye contact
Correct.
with Oscar
Correct.
that's sitting there.
Yeah. Now, see, the only reason Oscar is looking at Francisco now is he wants to watch him break because these guys watch each other's break to see what seems to be working the best. So that if they need to alter their break, they want to see what works and what doesn't. And that worked as far as making a ball. Let's see and it works as far as getting position on the ball. And then there's the 2 ball. So it's a matter of just making this ball in the corner pocket, running it down the rail, and it should have shape on the deuce. And off to the races he goes for this rack. Trailing by 2 games, 3-5.
Once again, I know you can't see it, but Oscar is sat back on his stool and he's stoic. He's not moving, not a single finger twitching. He's looking at the center of the table, sitting stoic.
This match is worth $600 to the winner because the loser will settle for $900. The winner goes on to the finals and could have a $2,500 payday if he wins, or a $1,500 payday if he loses and settles for second place. So it's worth some money.
Francisco is faced with an open table, no balls distracting him. All he has to do is think about how to get from the 5 to the 6, but that's
He already
a
thought
pretty
about it and
easy
laid it
thing.
out. Right there. And now the follow.
He opted for the follow because it's a natural shot to the 6. Don't have to do anything, just make that 5, you get to the 6.
Kind of like that.
Yep. avoid that 9 coming around 2 rails and above the 7 to make it in the same pocket.
He'd like to be exactly where he is now.
And he seems to motion. I hit it a
It's
bit
too straight.
hard.
He's
too
not
straight,
happy about
yeah.
that. Yeah, in fact, you saw his...
Where he pointed
yeah.
at his cue. That's
he's
where I wanted
perfect.
to
He's
be.
perfect. He'll just bring it back a little bit, and you'll have the nice angle for the 8 to come back down for the 9. Just like that.
Just like that.
He's perfect.
Wow.
For a while, I thought he was a little too straight. Oh, hello.
Wow. You know, it seemed to me from here that he stood up right at the second that
delivery?
he struck. Yeah,
At
right
delivery?
at the delivery second he stood up.
It did look odd. It didn't look smooth.
It didn't look smooth,
No.
right?
It didn't.
There was something in
didn't.
that stroke, and
I'm just hoping that they can't hear me or you.
yes, I hope so too.
Because if they can, it could be distracting. I was commentating a match earlier, and someone sitting in the booth, in the second booth over from the corner, texted me and said, "I can hear you over here."
We need to mention to Mark that we need the plexiglass here.
They had it, and I guess they didn't care for it.
You don't like it? Is it us personally that you? Yes. Steve is nodding his head. Yes.
I think he was trying to marry that cue ball
Yeah,
against the 9.
come behind the 9,
Or
right?
just
It
get on,
looked
just
like
get
it.
on it, make it difficult. Either over it, behind it, either just up against it.
You can always tell.
And
with
he's actually
Oscar-
over ball. He's
you
over
can,
ball.
Yeah, you can always tell with Oscar. He'll sort of give the jazz hand to the cue ball. Stop, stop, stop.
Mm.
Francisco's trying to make it. And if
Two-way
not,
shot.
leave
Two-way
it
shot.
long. And
Well,
this is
here's-
the original shot, right? This is the shot
Yeah, he
that
was a little closer, a lot closer actually, because he was closer to the middle of the table. But this is the shot that got Francisco in trouble.
yeah, that's
And
what
also,
I meant.
I believe the 7 was more to the rail, but it's pretty much the same shot.
Oscar's taking
just-
a moment to wipe his cue down, let his nerves calm
Well-
before he takes his shot, and maybe, leave Francisco thinking about the miss.
You know, it's a good move to let your opponent stew after he just erred.
And you know how we mentioned Oscar sitting stoic, looking at the center of the table, very focused. Francisco seems to be doing exactly the opposite.
Look at this
Francisco is
stroke. Look
looking-
at this stroke.
Wow.
What a beautiful stroke. You know, he went forward on that because if he drew the ball, he was going to come to the left side of the 9. He didn't have enough angle to hit the rail and come over for the 9 ball in the other corner pocket. He made a fantastic. He put a great stroke on that ball.
And I was saying just before that Francisco, on the other hand, is staring Oscar down. He's looking at the table. He's looking at his shots. He's trying to fire from his eyeballs at Oscar.
Yeah, he looks
Oscar
very
has
disgruntled.
Nothing,
right
yeah, has nothing to do with it. Look, Oscar's on the hill. Francisco beat him 8-1 in the last match, and Oscar's on the hill 6-3 against him.
now. And keep in mind, Francisco just lost to Brian Parks. I don't think he got 5 games, did he?
No,
No,
he did.
he did get- it was
yeah,
8-5?
8-5 or 8-4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
here he
basically in
is.
2 matches combined, he hasn't got the 7 yet.
Here he is.
Or
Again.
he got the 7.
Well, I'm saying
Yeah.
here he is at
Yeah.
6-3,
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
possibility of 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
With Oscar breaking. The advantage is to Oscar right now, and
Oh, definitely.
Fargo rate shows that. As a reminder, this is the 2017 J. Swanson Memorial in La Mesa, California at On Cue. This is Ashi Fatchler,
George Tejea.
and we are commentating the semifinal match between Oscar Dominguez and Francisco Bustamante. And we'd love to see you here if you want to show up to see the finals. And if not, watch the stream on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
As a reminder also that next week the Mez Tour stops right here at On Cue. This is Oscar Dominguez's West Coast Mez Tour. a lot of the pros, in fact, I spoke to some of them. They're staying in town for a week, picking up games and
do both,
to
correct.
play both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for action, On Cue will be the place
On
this
Cue will
week.
be the place. Yes, I'm sure you can pick up any
Oh.
action for any amount against any
I'm sure
player.
these two gentlemen that are playing will be here. Mr. Gallego will be here.
He said that I spoke to Ramil and he said he's going to go between LA and here. He's
Oh,
going to come back for the Mez, but
Okay.
he's going to go up to LA in between. Off camera to our right is Mike Massey sitting and watching this match intently. He didn't make it. That 5-ball is married to the
Yeah,
two
but that
ball at
5
this
ball
point.
might be married to the 9 ball when this is all said and done.
Well, you know, that's what he looked at. You have a better line than I do. Can you see if the 259 is wired?
If it's kissing the ball, it throws into it. Now,
Oscar
regardless,
took a
it's
look
still
at it
2
and he
feet
didn't
away,
like
so,
that. Yeah,
you know.
Oscar took a look at it and he
Well,
really
it's
doesn't
a
like
risk.
that at this point. So
What he's looking at is if it has a good chance. If it has a good chance, now he has to find a place where the 2 ball might end up. So he wants to leave the cue ball where it might be hooked and
yeah,
play a
he's
two-way
looking
shot.
at that. He's looking at exactly that. If I hit that, it throws that 9
See,
ball
what
in.
I actually like going ahead and firing this and hitting the 2 ball straight on and drawing the cue ball for the 3. In other words, putting 3 balls into play.
And he missed it.
Not
He is
yet.
coming up to that 3, but the speed wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And he left the 2.
He left the 2
hidden.
ball. Yeah,
Can Francisco see the right edge of that ball?
I'm
He's
not
taking
sure.
a look
It
at
looks like
no.
he can. It's off. It's very thin if he can.
Yeah,
Very, very thin.
he went and took a look at it. He's going to go around the table again. By the way he's shooting, you can see it.
Mm-hmm. And make the 8. But look what he
And
ended
get
up
shape.
with. He has shape.
And
Looks like he has
shape,
shape, yeah.
Right
Looks
there.
like he has a shot. And boy, does he need it, because he can't afford to let Oscar back to the table.
That's
not
why
with a
he's
shot.
Francisco and we're not. He hit that with power. I'm going to get up there just so I can get options on that 5 ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wants to just get perfectly straight in on this
It's
5.
interesting seeing the different players deal with frustrations. Some get empowered by it,
Mm-hmm.
and some just fall apart completely. We saw a few of those in the tournament, you know, where their frustration cost them balls and games that they wouldn't normally lose.
Very true. This is a mind game, and it's how you handle your emotions. And what speaks to it a lot is your body language. You can see it from there.
And I think this is Francisco's break. So at 6-4, Francisco's breaking.
We could easily be within a game. But either way, Oscar will get to break twice.
Six four. Francisco's breaking. We
Pretty
have
ex-
ourselves a match, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
who didn't know we wouldn't?
Not that I expected anything else, but
We have a
we
nice
have
gallery.
ourselves a match.
You know, one of the things I'm seeing here, I've never, this is my first time at the Swanee, but one of the things I'm seeing is the final tournaments. For the tournaments in Phoenix, for instance, when we have finals, we don't have a gallery like this. Only thing left in the tournament on Sunday night is the players that are playing and maybe a couple of their backers or close friends. So we have maybe 15 people watching the match. We got a crowd here of
Yeah,
close
easily.
to 100 people.
Yeah, easily in the room,
And most of them are standing.
Yeah, most of them are standing
Yeah,
and taking
most of
a
them are
look.
standing. in this
right
corner.
out of sight of the
Mhm,
cameras on the
mhm.
right-hand side. We're sort of tucked in the corner,
corner
of
of the
the room,
Correct.
surrounded by 3 walls. So you see a few figures in front of the cameras, but
Which is
everybody's
It's a
standing
great
behind them.
layout for this table because here you have a final and you have no spectator interference because nobody can walk
Nobody's
by the
walking by,
table.
yeah.
No waitresses coming by, bringing drinks to people around there. This is primo. This is prime time here.
Francisco just hit the rack harder than he did in the last
But still very
breaks.
controlled.
Still very controlled, and
Yeah.
with a lot of body English,
Still
trying to
about
control that one ball there.
still about 4 miles an hour slower than he normally does.
Right?
As brakes go, most of them.
Explode those
Yeah.
racks.
As brakes go, if you're hitting the rack at 26, 27 miles an hour, you're doing a good job.
Do you
He hits it
favor
about 30, 31.
Do you favor missing that 7, coming around the 7 for the 2? Is there?
I think he'll go straight up and down. He'll hit this ball, hit the head rail, and come straight down between the 4 and the 8. I don't think he's going to spin around it. But by
He's
the way he's
gonna
doing the
show
ball,
us,
he's going
yeah.
to show us.
Something else.
Well.
See, he opted to
I
draw all the
like
way
just
around.
going up. It's a very fast table. He put a good stroke on that ball. It's coming back down. Whereas that, with that kind of English, changes your results. Can change your results. Oscar's faced with a good little shot here. This is a tester and a half.
I think he's going to push the 1 ball up table and spin the cue ball back down.
Underneath the 9 or under the 6.
Yeah.
He's banked it to the corner.
Yeah, he
Or
played
did
the
he just-
2-way. He
yeah.
says, hey, if I make it, great. If I don't,
Looks like he got him with a 6 ball.
Francisco knows that if he's hitting it off the rail, he has to hit it with speed, not only to separate them, but to get any shot on the 2 coming up.
Well, he also knows that if he hits this 1 ball, he's got to end up down here, which makes it really hard because there's balls to get behind at the bottom of the table, but there's nothing to get behind on top. And, look at
Oh,
this.
look
Look
at
at
that.
this. And he found something to get behind. How's that?
Francisco raises his hand to say,
Apologize?
sorry. Yeah.
Well, you don't expect that, but
It's a
he got
calculated
rewarded for a
shot.
good hit.
Yeah, it's a calculated shot. He shot the correct shot to come 2 rails, push it out. In fact, he was really hoping to hit that 4 ball in off the 2. That's what he was hoping
Sure.
for. And when that didn't happen, he got lucky. But I've seen Oscar jump many a times, and
This is pretty close. This
that's
is
why he
pretty
got.
close.
That's why he got his short cue. He plays
Okay.
with a much longer butt when he shoots the regular jump shots. This is for the quick up and down.
And he got quick, up and down quick, but it didn't help him. Well, Francisco needs this because he cannot, this will put him on 5 and within a game. Puts the pressure on Oscar to close it out with a break and run or total control. Mike Massey is checking out his break jump.
Going, that's
Or jump.
interesting. I'd like to add that to my collection. How many break jump cues do you think Mike Massey has?
I don't know, but he uses them one-handed. I watched him playing somebody, and he had a jump shot, a short jump shot, and he shot it one-handed in a match.
Tennessee Tarzan, and Francisco is hating his stroke right now. He's complaining that he didn't hit it. And the look on his face right out of view of the cameras.
Disgust and despair.
Disgust, yes.
Disgust
Utter
and despair.
disgust. He's like, not only is this on the rail, I can't see it, I can't spin into it.
Actually, it's the 4 Ds. It's disgust, despair,
Distraught.
distraught. That's a good one.
And damn it, I left it where I
Disillusioned.
shouldn't.
I didn't want to use the word damn,
I
but it's okay.
understand.
That's right, all right.
You use titties, I use damn it.
I was
even.
just using a pool colloquial term, I guess. You
I
might say.
agree. Dang it, I left it
There
where I
you go,
shouldn't
dang it.
have.
There's another one, the other D.
I'm going to leave that one here, ladies and gentlemen. You heard George say it
He's
first.
He's going to try to spin this under the 9 and hold it out. But unless he hit it perfect, there's no future. And we're
Oscar's
going to go to the
asking
restroom real
for
quick. So we're going to stop and
And
run a
again,
couple of
and again,
ads.
see,
and,
that's exactly it. Whether Oscar has to go or not, he's gonna leave Francisco,
Stewing.
remembering that miss he just had. Here you go, Francisco. Look at the table that you just left me
Yep.
for a bit.
He's going to leave him stewing.
And
Meanwhile, Steve's
Francisco
got...
is still looking intense at the table.
Oh, he's kind of relaxing a little bit here. He's breathing, saying,
Nah,
well,
his lips are pursed. Look at him.
Mhm.
He's just sitting
Yeah.
there. All
but he's in the... He's pretty much, that to me is, he's resigned. He's resigned that there's nothing I can do here. So I'm going to watch what happens and hope for a mistake. Yeah. Meanwhile, Steve's running ads for you guys for the U.S. Open U.S. Open 10-ball and 8-ball championships coming up in July. You have the U.S. Open bar table championships coming up in December. All put on by Q Sports International.
Yeah, the Westgate, Las Vegas.
And also in April, I believe there's a U.S. Open straight pool tournament limited to 40 players
In Connecticut.
in Connecticut. So you got some big things happening. Both U.S. Opens in July, the 8-ball and 10-ball, are both $10,000 added. And there's a straight pool championship.
And
Again,
Oscar's
10,000
back
added.
at the table.
And Oscar's back. And what's next? The 4-ball?
No, the 2-ball is on
The 2-ball.
side.
After that, he's going to hit this with just a little bit of right high English to come around it and play the 4-ball in the same pocket. It looks like he's got to avoid. He doesn't want to hit the 4.
Unless he hits it straight on. I mean, there's the option of hitting it straight on. It pushes it past that to 8-ball. He doesn't want it.
He's
It's
using the English
disadvantageous to him, but he's going to try and get around
He missed it. He was
He
using the
missed
English to get around to it.
that
And when he
ball.
came off the rail, he spun the cue ball into the deuce instead of the rail.
Francisco can't believe his
Well,
luck.
this is what I'm saying. He was sitting there kind of resigned to saying, I can't control this. I'm not going to get upset. Let's see what happens. And what happened was very positive for him. And now we could be within a game.
Yeah, but this is a bit shorter than he wanted.
It doesn't
He's
matter. He'll come
changing
straight up.
hands.
He'll come straight up. No problem.
Again, just a tad short. He's got the angle to come off one rail, maybe two,
Mhm.
for the 6, but I'm sure he wanted to be a little bit higher.
Well, he just shot that opposite hand and just floated the ball. So, yeah.
Right, and the reason I said he wanted to be higher, it
Mhm.
gave him better angle on that 6-ball. He came kind of flat.
Mm-hmm.
Shot it perfectly, but came kind of flat on it.
Now, he'd like to be exactly where the cue ball is right now. Maybe a little bit to the right so he can go 2 rails position, or 3 rails actually, and hit about where the 6-ball is for position on the 8-ball.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Doesn't want to get straight in, and he doesn't
He
want
got
to
straighter
shoot
than he
over the-
wanted to
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be shooting over
Yeah.
the balls either.
because he wants to make sure he hits the rail by about the middle diamond on the right-hand side.
You mean like that?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Pinpoint.
Anything but straight in.
Anything, and he's perfect. He's just going to float right up for the ball. He's going to follow this, or just stun it up to the right. He might not even use the rail. No, he didn't come up enough. Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
That spin took real nice. I thought for a second it wasn't going to. Well done.
6-5.
But Oscar's break.
Oscar's break, 6-5.
Now, if Oscar happens to lose this game, Francisco's breaking on the hill. This is a big break.
And Oscar has to work on erasing that last shot on the 2 out
That
of
2
his
ball?
mind. He just has to concentrate. This is a new game, new table.
Did you see after he shot the ball how he re-cued where he was and noticed that the reason he missed the ball was he came over the side of it? You know, because he was froze on the rail and he was using right English and the rail was in the way and he dug into the ball so it turned. That's what he was looking at. He says, I just turned this ball. Amateurish mistake.
There he is. Nice break with a
And he did wasn't
clear
happy.
shot on that 3 ball. What he's trying to look is to see if the 4 clears the 5, and
It does not.
doesn't from here,
No.
right?
No.
It doesn't from here.
He's got half a pocket. He's got to come back for this ball.
He looks straight
play it
in
in
for the 3, right?
Yeah.
It looks to be
It
straight
looks
in.
dead straight in.
Yeah.
It looks like he might be able to draw it and end up over by the 7. But it looks like
No,
he's following the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
2 rails.
he might come all the way up and down.
2 rails.
There you go.
Yeah,
Come
there you
this
go.
way.
1 rail maybe.
Now he's going to be perfect. He's going to be straight into the upper corner pocket.
Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's why he's Oscar and we're not.
That's why we're in the booth watching him execute what we think he might.
We have a booth,
Uh,
kind of. I think he wants to freeze the cue ball.
I think he wants to stop the cue ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
freeze the cue ball right there.
Yeah. Freeze the cue ball. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, same thing.
Stop, freeze.
Stop, freeze.
In other words, it ain't going nowhere.
Right,
Position
and
on
then
the
come
6.
around. 2 rails underneath the 8,
Just don't
just
hit
like
the 8.
that.
And he came up with a nice angle on the 6 ball.
The rail.
Mm-hmm. He'll come over. He wants angle for the 7 to get to the 8. He's looking to see if the 8 ball goes in the side. And that's where he's pointing, is where he'd like to be, but he won't be that. He won't be there because it's in line to the side pocket from where he's traveling from, so he won't be there. He's not going to come anywhere close to the side pocket. Yes, he's a diamond away.
Yeah, he's begging that cue ball to
He's too
stop.
straight.
So, I think he's going to follow, try and make that 8 into the side. Doesn't want to get hidden. Yeah, he doesn't want to get behind
You're right.
that 9
That's where
ball.
he's going.
He'll take a tougher angle and do that.
Oh, he
Yeah.
followed all right. Look at this. He wasn't. See, he didn't like the side pocket.
No,
He came in.
it's the same thing I said earlier. Well, why shoot it at the softest speed if you can shoot, if you can stroke it? Stroke it, get to where you need to be, rather than try a softer and harder
Sure.
shot.
The stroke helps the accuracy. Good point, Sashi.
Thank you, sir.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Oscar's about to close this out and go on to play Brian Parks in the finals of the 2017 J. Swanson Memorial here at On Cue Billiards in San Diego, California. Big round of applause for Oscar Dominguez.
Next match up is Oscar Dominguez. The power's that good at this point. He still has some work to do.
He's got some work to do, but it's a lot easier from there than it would have been an inch higher
Yeah,
or
he
2 inches
definitely
higher.
didn't want
Yeah.
the short side of that too, but take what the table gives you at this point.
At this point, and it's just a follow shot.
Anywhere in the middle of the table is fine, just like that.
Now, did Francisco switch cues?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He got a new cue
You
out
were
to
mentioning he may not be happy with a tip or something on the cue. Some players will sometimes switch cues or switch something because they're not happy with the focus, and it'll make him focus a little different than what he has been. And that could be part of it too.
And speaking of focus, it seemed for a second there that Oscar lost his focus running into that 8 ball.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, his body English was kick out of the 8 ball, but that's not where he wanted to be for
Well,
that
now you
7.
can see why.
And that's exactly
Now you
why.
can see
he
why.
came out a little high, ran into the 7, and now he's in a bit more trouble than he wanted to be on that 7.
It changed his angle. Will he cut this in the side or will he bank it?
I don't think he's cutting it.
I think he
Yeah,
will.
well, he will. You're right. He's looking at it.
It's the biggest pocket on the table. I mean, these are tight, but that's the biggest pocket. Side pockets are.
I'm looking at the streaming table. See, from where we sit, it
Mhm.
looks like a different angle, but the streaming table says cut it in the side. Filipinos are known for is not just hitting that shot, but actually hitting it to make it to what a
Hitting the right side of the ball, the correct
Yeah.
side of the ball.
the correct side of the ball to make it or
Correct.
to get advantages.
Good point.
Again, we apologize for the camera sounds in the background. That's my camera firing off. You'll see some of the photos on Facebook at a later time and on CSI Polls website and Facebook page. George, we didn't introduce ourselves. I waited
We
for
didn't.
you. I waited for you to take a sip of your drink before I said that. I was hoping for that arc spit as I said it.
My adult beverage?
The adult beverage, yes, sir.
Well, this is George Teja from Tucson, Arizona.
And
Join
Ashi
you.
Fatchler from San Diego, California.
There you go.
Sorry, George. Didn't mean
It's
to
okay.
cut you off.
And you guys are watching Francisco Bustamante and Oscar Dominguez.
Yep.
The semifinal of the 2017 J. Swanson Memorial, the 21st annual Swanee. Oscar's name is on here many times as a winner, second place finish, runner-up finish, third place. He's done it all. Nice shot.
What a bank.
And a well-deserved applause from a very appreciative crowd. Oh, he
did
wasn't
it.
cutting
He
his
went-
side. He was
no,
playing safe.
Entire time.
Fooled us, guys. He fooled us. We thought it was going to be offense. He called out his defense.
Although that's what I said earlier about being focused is, he does what he needs to be doing. He's not
Mhm.
getting frustrated. Francisco hits the ball full, leaving it in front of the 8. From here, grazing the 8 actually makes the 7 and pushes the 8 right down towards the bottom pocket.
You think he'll play that?
Yeah, well, that's what he's looking at. See?
Well, he's looking at both.
Yeah, he's looking at the angle that he needs. The other thing he might want to do is play the 7 into the center of the table and stick the cue ball on that 8 off the rail.
That is a good shot, and it's a high percentage shot, and it looks like that's what he's playing.
Yeah, right? Yep, there you go.
Good call.
Stick him on that
Nice
8
call.
right off the rail.
He didn't want to roll the ball on the side. He didn't want to play it off the ball because it might get to the bottom rail and not have a shot. And he chose the defensive shot, a high percentage defensive shot.
Now, I think Francisco wants to hit the bottom rail before hitting that 7. Shooting 7 up table, possibly in the pocket. One of the things that... And after that shot, you have to really take your foot off the gas,
Mm-hmm.
relax
Mhm.
again, shoot
Mhm.
soft.
Too soft, actually.
There you go. But it's a no-brainer for Francisco. That makes it 1-1 with Francisco to break. Maybe changing the cue actually did it for him. It gave him the confidence that he needed, or the change that he needed.
Mm-hmm. It sometimes makes you focus better because there is now whatever distraction was there or whatever distraction he's creating by having the cue reins in his focus again. I think
So basically, our advice for amateurs is buy more than one cue. Is that it?
pretend you're playing golf.
Yes.
And, get your 9 irons, your drivers, and your putters. What the heck? Just carry the whole. They're carrying a break cue, they're carrying a playing cue, and they're carrying a jump, or sometimes a jump break.
An extension.
An extension.
Yes.
So,
For those of you who haven't seen, Francisco's case has about 6 cues.
There
in
you
it,
go.
If not more.
There you go. Well, to tell you the truth, I actually carry a 4x8. So I carry 4 cues. Can't use any of them, but I carry 4 of them.
I heard you play okay.
I thought, didn't Okay, we're back.
Sorry about that, by the way. We're having some technical problems, but we're back on the air right now. What I was saying during the break is that I noticed a marginal difference right now in Oscar's demeanor. He seems focused. He seems ready to play this match. Earlier on, I don't know if he just seemed a little bit more frazzled, but that has completely disappeared right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
He just came off a big win over Mitch Ellerman, and it was he shot very well. It was again the focus was there.
for him, that
It's
was
time
a
to make the
deciding
donuts here.
match. Yeah,
Sure.
he had to make it. He
Sure.
had to beat Mitch in order to get here, and he knows as well as anyone that every match starts at 0.
So basically, it's time to go to work here. So Oscar is at work.
Don't run into the 3-4. That's all he wanted.
And he's going to play
Now-
short rail position.
Well, now he's Jeddah mind tricking that cue ball to stop, but it didn't quite work. I don't think the Jeddah